So yeah, just I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just another disappointing loss. Their starting pitcher coming into the game had 5 starts in 17 innings, and he goes 7 against us today, and really the first 7 innings, we didn't put back-to-back quality at bats together, other than Ludwig's single in the second, followed by McNamee hit that ball to the wall. After that, and then when Costello homered and then Turconi walked right after that. I mean, those are the only 2 times in 7 innings we put back-to-back quality at bats together against that guy, which again is super disappointing. On the mound, we had chances to get out of really all those innings. I mean, I think 8 of their 9 runs came with 2 outs, which is, again, we just got to do a better job of making pitches. Louisville's a good offensive team, but they're a team that thrives on mistakes. And if you make pitches against them, you get outs. And we just didn't make pitches. And obviously too many walks. We walked Levi Usher 3 times today, and it's like near impossible to walk him. And then we managed to do it 3 times. And, again, really that was the difference in the game, just not getting our team off the field with 2 outs and a little too many walks, in the wrong situations, and just not enough quality at bats. But again, don't know that we deserved to win that game, but certainly had chances to win. And, we need to play better.
Tom, I know you lit into the guys last weekend after the Friday game. I don't think that's something you can dip into the well once a weekend. So what's the approach with the guys to try to get a win tomorrow?
Well, the approach is, if we win tomorrow, then it's probably a successful weekend. You win 1 out of 3 at Louisville, you walk out of there and you feel okay about it. I've been on buses when you win the first 2 and you lose on Sunday and it feels like a funeral. And I've been on buses where you lose the first 2 and win on Sunday and it feels like a party. So, if we win, that's kind of one of the weird things about our sport. But, if we win tomorrow, it'll be a good weekend. And if we don't win tomorrow, it won't be the end of the year by any stretch. But, we'll have kind of continued to dig ourselves a hole that's going to be hard to get out of. But yeah, I mean, win tomorrow and it's a solid weekend. And that was the message in the huddle afterwards. I didn't light into them. I mean, we've got to get Brock Wilken to second base there in the last inning. We've got to do a couple little things that we didn't do, but all in all, hopefully we have some momentum headed into tomorrow and feel good about a Louisville pitching staff that we feel like we can score off their bullpen. We've just got to get into the bullpen a little sooner than we did the first 2 nights.
Is that something you agree with too, that you can't dip into the well and light them up every time that, once a weekend?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that, Connor. I mean, it's, one of these things, these kids in this generation, that falls on deaf ears sometimes. You do it every now and again, and it has an effect. And again, we'll come out tomorrow. We got to play with a little more energy. I didn't really like our energy in BP today, or the first couple innings. So that was the other message: is we've got to come out and play with more energy tomorrow.
Do you feel like you gained enough momentum with what you did in the 8th that maybe you can carry that into tomorrow?
I think so. I think for sure. Again, we're facing a starter who I think has been out for a little while. I don't know if it was COVID or what have you, but he threw 3 innings on Tuesday. And it's somebody we've seen in the past. So, and somebody that left-handed hitters have had success against this year. So, going into the game, we feel like we should be able to score some runs. I mean, we're going to need a good start out of Rhett Lauder, of course. We've got I'd say our bullpen's in decent shape. We haven't used Adler yet, so we can certainly get 2 innings out of him. We could certainly get an inning out of Ox and an inning out of Cam and probably an inning out of Hunter and even Cole if we had to. Cole McNamee is available. So, I think we've got options tomorrow. But again, for us, it's just a matter of stacking quality at-bats together. We just didn't really put any pressure on Louisville today until the 8th inning.
What do you need? What do you think has gone kind of wrong with Rhett the last couple of weeks? And do you think that he has what it takes to kind of turn around and give you that good outing you need tomorrow?
I think so. I mean, he hasn't been landing his off-speed stuff the last 2 weeks. I guess Georgia Tech and then against Florida State. Too many kind of big misses with his off-speed pitches and pitches that hitters don't have to make decisions on. So he needs to tunnel that changeup better with his fastball and force hitters to kind of stay in between pitches like we were today against Seed. Not on time for the fastball and not ready for the changeup either. And I think Rhett the last 2 weeks hasn't forced hitters to do that. For me, the key for Rhett is two things. One, not overthrowing. Whenever he overthrows is kind of when he elevates and his ball flattens out and he's hittable. Whenever he's got that good sinker going, I think he can get a lot of ground ball outs. And Louisville is super aggressive offensively. So if you make pitches, you can get quick outs and get deep into the game against them. But the problem is if you don't make pitches, they make you pay.
It seems like forever ago, but what was the issue with Masterman's bat early in the game?
Well, Muntz said there was no sticker on it and it was illegal. Again, I don't know if we looked at the right bat or not. I mean, that's something I hate doing in that situation. If, the other team's going to use an illegal bat, that's on them. So I felt like an idiot going out there about it, but Muntz was adamant. So obviously I had to back up my player.
Speaking of Muntz, we've seen this over the past couple of years with him. When he gets hot, it just looks like everything off his bat is sailing over the fence, right? Like he's going about as well as he can go at this point.
Yeah, again, I like him better when he's a little more in the right center gap. I mean, even in that at bat where he homered, he had 2 hittable pitches that he pulled foul. So I do think he's a little too kind of pull happy right now. I'd like to see him kind of get more in that right center gap a little bit. But yeah, I mean, obviously that was a huge at bat, in a big situation, and he's kind of going good. He'll get the DH tomorrow, which I think is going to be good for him too, to kind of take a mental break. So hopefully now that Tinsman's back and those two can kind of share duties, Shane's bat will just continue to get better and better.
Is it fair to ask if Tinsman was in COVID protocol, which was, I guess, is our assumption? Has he been like isolated from Bay? Did he fly up tomorrow? How does that work?
No, he's been here the whole time. But when you're coming out of protocol, you have a return to play protocol that you have to follow, and you can't. You've got a 5-day, various things you have to do. You get an echocardiogram and then you get some other things. And then you kind of have to slowly, because you've been doing nothing for 10 days, you have to kind of slowly return to play. And that's kind of what he's been in so far.
So it wasn't at this point that he had to be isolated from anybody. He had to just get physically up to speed with being able to play baseball.
Yeah, we just had to kind of check the medical boxes on that. Like, Ludwig's groin, I'm worried about Ludwig's groin. And I was kind of wondering if Ludwig couldn't go, who we were going to put in the outfield, in that situation. We didn't really have anybody left on the bench. We had Reinisch left on the bench and somebody that I can't think of right now. But I wasn't sure. We were probably going to have to put Reinisch at third, and maybe I don't know what we would have done. We put somebody out there if we had to, but maybe McNamee in the field. I guess we could have put McNamee out there with the lead. We probably would have put McNamee out there and then just had no DH. But in a tie game, it would have been a tough decision what to do, not being able to put Brendan in the game. And I think he would have helped us today and yesterday. I mean, I think he was a good matchup for both those starting pitchers. So I think not having Brendan these last 2 games, I think cost us a run or two along the way.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.